So, hi, my name is Latoya Patterson. I have been a practice manager for the past 14 years, spending the last 10 years in the nephrology space. I am a senior consultant, and I also work with some groups across the US. And specifically, my niche is the nephrology space. And so I'm super excited to be here to talk about what SensorMed has done with some of the groups that I've worked with and all of the great progress that we have made. So the CKCC program started last year. I think that was the first year that it began. And the goal was to create a space for nephrologists and these groups to provide some better quality care. And I think what's happening with CMS is that they are moving from that fee for service perspective into more of a population health. So how healthy can you keep your patients? And we just pay you for, each patient a certain type of cadence, whether it's quarterly, monthly, et cetera. And so I think with CKCC, it has provided us an opportunity to kind of get a taste of what that looks like. And not only that, but there are some great financial benefits of it in the back end. And so by participating in the program, we've been able to, one, help keep track of our CKD4s and our CKD5s, so we're able to stay on top of them, and then also better manage our ESRD patients, and try to do our best to keep them out of the hospital, and address any needs that they have. And one of the ways that we've been able to do that is through remote monitoring, because it allows us to have as real time as possible, access to those patients. What are their blood pressures? As a nephrology practice manager, that is our goal. How do we better control their blood pressure so that we can try to shorten the time in which they would have to move forward to dialysis? And so being a part of this program, I think is great. But we do recognize that there are some extra tools that you need, such as remote monitoring or PCM, those services that you can still bill for that are reimbursable. But it kind of adds into really optimizing and keeping your patients healthy, and keeping track of those patients and where they are. Yeah, so there's multiple KCs, so each group is a little bit different. But with the KCs that I have worked with, one of the things that they're looking at is blood pressure. ACE/ARB management is one of the things that we look at as well. We try to make sure that we get our patients in for their 2 visits each year, and then doing your PAM, so your patient activation measure, and then your PHQ-9, which is your depression screening. And so those are truly some of the major things. Also, we're looking at CKD education, because education is so valuable and so important, as well as looking to, again, add in that remote monitoring. So that's a separate payment that you receive. But normally you get your panel of patients, and you receive a quarterly payment. I believe they pay the KC like $200 or something of that nature per patient on a quarterly basis. But then there's also these other programs, like I was just saying, your ACE/ARB, doing your education, getting your patients, to transplant, doing a referral to transplant. And so all those things play in a role in really just trying to help, again, keep the patient healthy, and try to kind of prolong that dialysis start. And then also not just that, but optimizing, optimal starts, which is so important, because that saves us, saves a lot of money to CMS. But it's great because now we can put that money in our pockets, some of that money, in our pockets, because we were able to get that patient to start as an optimal start, and they're not crashing into the ER to get started on dialysis. No, Coach Healthcare Consulting is always available to help practices with their billing and any consulting needs that they have. Again, I really appreciate SensorMed because I've had the opportunity to work with them since about 2019, doing remote patient monitoring. And so, if you are a primary care doctor, endo, nephrologist, pulmonary, like these are programs that now you can get paid for, and it's work that you've been doing all this time. You might just did a blood pressure log before, but now you can see it again in real time, and then you also get reimbursed for that time that you're spending to help keep those patients safe and keep them healthy. So